What's up guys, it's the Slasher Bachelor and I'm back with another movie review. Today we are talking about Scary Movie 6, also known as Scary Movie 2026. This might be the most controversial movie that I've reviewed so far. Truly believe when it comes to comedy, I think this is the most subjective genre in all of movies and TV shows. A lot of people find different things funny. Not everybody has the same humor, so it is kind of difficult for everybody to be on the same page when it comes to TV and movie shows. Me, I'm a big fan of the Scary Movie franchise, 1 through 3. 4 and 5 I could care less about, but 1 through 3 was some of my favorite comedy movies ever. Now me, when it comes to comedy, I like a whole bunch of different stuff. Even the stupid movies that everybody low-key hates, like Little Nicky, the Adam Sandler movie, I think that is hilarious. I really enjoy that movie. The superhero movie, that's another parody movie, that is hilarious to me. There's just a lot of ones that are very like, ew, how can you like that? It's not funny. That I find funny. But for this movie, for some reason, this movie has created this crazy disaster of a split fan base when it comes to the Scary Movie franchise. There's people that had high hopes for it and then made a quick video and shitting on the movie, saying how mid it was, this is awful, this is the worst movie of the year, as if Scream 7 doesn't exist. I've seen people say this was a massive disappointment, which is fair to say. There's a lot of people on the other side that said they really enjoyed this movie and that it was funny. And then there's also people in the middle that were like, it's not that funny, but it was okay, it was fine, it's not the worst in the franchise. So when it comes to me, Scary Movie 2026, I enjoyed it. Now, was it the most funniest movie ever? Not really. But I do get where people are upset about. This is the first spoiler-free part of the video, and then I'll tell you when the spoiler part is coming. So this is spoiler-free for now. I know I just said, that I really did enjoy the movie. There is a reason where I understand that people think this is mid or a disappointment. I get it in the situation because it's like they promised, oh, this is gonna be like the highest standard, we're gonna make offensive jokes, this is gonna be like we don't care, and it really was pretty like tamed, and a lot of people didn't find the jokes funny. They felt like it was a bit like corny and not funny corny, and people just thought the pacing was weird. They didn't like anything, and I get it. I see it from the point of view of, okay, let me think about, are they right? And I think they have valid criticism when it comes to this movie. I get it. I see what they're talking about. But when it comes to me, I'm more of a, I had a good time. However, there are some stuff that I disliked and I feel like can be fixed moving forward, because obviously there's going to be a Scary Movie 7. So I just feel like this movie was funny, but not too funny. Was it something that I was like overly hyping, like, oh my god, this movie was so fire, and it really wasn't. Now I think it's a valid take. I don't have any beef with people that hate this movie or love this movie. I'm in between. I'm like, I get why people don't like this movie, but I enjoyed it for the most part. There were some jokes that didn't hit for me. I kind of figured that was gonna happen, but overall I think when it comes to you being with people, like if you go with like your friends or a girlfriend or boyfriend or family members, I think it's a better time than you just going by yourself. So I think that's what makes Scary Movie kind of a very iffy thing, because sometimes you might not want to laugh or think it's funny when you're just by yourself, but when you see other people having a good time, it kind of builds up the situation, like, you know what, this is pretty valid. I kind of thought, that was kind of funny. So for me, I did watch this movie twice. I watched it on Friday with my friends, and we kind of So let's see, YouTube doesn't kill me for saying this. We had some happy juice, a couple of shots of happy juice, just to get us, a little bit, feel good and go into the movie and see how much of a time we would have. And I think that was hilarious. When we were in there, we were dying, and everybody in the theater was cracking up. So then I went home. I didn't do a letterbox review that night because I knew that I'm like, okay, I have a bit of juice in me, and I don't want to overhype this movie and then just be wrong about it. So then on Saturday I went again, and this time I went with my mom, and I don't feel like having happy juice with my mother. So we went in there sober, and I still thought it was funny, but it wasn't as funny. This movie is obviously, you can tell that the Wayans were just happy that they got the franchise back, which I am totally happy for, because 1 and 2 are fantastic. They didn't work on 3, even though 3 was fine, and I like that one as well. You can tell when they got the property back, they're like, yo, we're just gonna do all this stuff, because they were excited that they got it back, and I don't blame them. When you have a thing that you work so hard on, and then you sell it, or something happens, and then you finally get it back years later, you're gonna be excited at the fact that something that you built, you finally get it back. So I don't blame them for wanting to do everything that they could in this movie. It's just that when it came to it, there was a situation that happens where they got a bit too excited, and they just kept throwing stuff in there where it just felt like, oof, this, you didn't need to do this and do that. For example, the idea of, hey, we're gonna make sure everybody's offended. We don't care what we say, we're just gonna go all out and make everybody laugh, but we're gonna make everybody feel so uncomfortable. And then when I watched it, I was like, okay, I see some of the jokes where people might find it very, offensive, which makes it funny, because you know what, the times that we're in where stuff is so messed up right now, and I don't like to get into politics, but the person in charge, his red hat supporters, it's a lot. So with that being said, I do like that we got a movie where it's a bit of a dark humor, where it's just like, all right, we're just gonna go at anybody. However, even though they marketed it as this, it felt like it was tamed. It didn't feel like they went all out. It felt like they did some, but didn't go over the top, in which I felt like if you were gonna do this movie and you gonna market it as that, you should have went deeper, and you should have made people laugh more, to the point where it's like, yo, this is fucked up to say, but it's pretty funny. And they didn't really do that, unfortunately. But overall, I find the movie is fun to watch. Even though some of the parts weren't funny, I was still entertained, and that's all I asked for. I wasn't bored, and I feel like even though all the stuff didn't click with me, it was totally fine. Like, as long as I wasn't like ready and tired, or just sitting there just not having a good time for an hour and a half, that would have been like, okay, this is not a good movie. But for me, I was entertained throughout the whole thing, so it's not really a big issue for me. So to finish the spoiler-free version of this, overall out of 5 stars, I give it a 3 or a 3.5 out of 5. It could have been much better, but it's not a bad movie in my eyes. I will recommend you go see it if you feel up to it. There's a lot of reviews online that may differ and be like, okay, since this person who has a lot of subscribers, or this person that I love watching, says that it's bad, then I'm not going to waste my time. It's totally fine, up to you. I do suggest you just go and see it for yourself, especially a movie like this where it's like everybody has a different opinion when it comes to comedy. So you may love it more than I did, or more than the people that said it was a massive disappointment or said it was terrible. So I will suggest go to the theaters. If you have the money on you, you want to have a good time, go watch it and form your own opinion. Now we're going to get into the spoilers. I do like the fact that they went with the big plot storyline the plot of Scream 5, because it makes sense because the first Scary Movie was based off, the main plot was based off of Scream 1. So bringing back the old cast, kind of the legacy characters, kind of makes sense to parody Scream 5 with having a whole new cast with the legacy characters. So I was like, you know what, this makes sense. So that being the main plot, that's cool. But the problem that I also have with this is that they threw too many different references from other movies, and it went so far that it differed from what the main plot of Scream 5 was. And that's been the charm of the scary movies beforehand. Scary movies have one plot where they're gonna spoof that particular movie, but throughout the movie they'll throw little spoofs and references from other movies, but it was never over exaggerated where it's just like continuously just new stuff, or repeat jokes from the same movie. Like for instance, there's like I want to say like 3 Sinners references where I feel like it was very unnecessary to have 3 of the same one. And then they would just add on top of that, the first scene is Final Destination, which is fine to me because I love Final Destination, but they didn't really do much with that. It was a quick little scene just to introduce Cindy's daughter, one of her daughters, Sarah, I believe, which by the way, if you thought this was, I thought this was real. Like, if you think this is Anna Faris's character's daughter, like if that was her actual daughter, you'd be like, I wouldn't be shocked at it, because the way she talks, the way her mannerism is, you will believe that this is Cindy's daughter. So everybody in this movie, including the new characters, everybody did a fantastic job. So that's fine. But back to where I was saying, where it was too many parodies. They did Sinners, they did Final Destination. There's just so much that it was a bit like, all right, you don't need to do that. The Substance, which is fine. Get Out, K-pop Demon Hunters, which I thought was pretty funny. That caught me off guard. And they did John Wick, and then they threw in OG characters, you know, like Anthony, Shaq in them, which is fine. But I feel like I'm missing. They did low key kind of another Final Destination part where it's Cindy, now she's like trying to stay away from death, kind of like in Final Destination Bloodlines. She kind of was that kind of character in the beginning, but it low-key had some sort of Jamie Lee Curtis Halloween towards it as well, and it just felt like it just was not flowing correctly. And it's to the point where it's like, okay, you didn't need that many. You could have dimmed it down on the Sinners. You didn't really need the Get Out that much. The Final Destination could have been scratched off because you did basically nothing with it. But yeah, it's like it was unnecessary. Was some of them funny? Yeah, I thought it was funny. But, you know, some of it was just like, no, like this didn't need to be here. If you ask me though, the Ghostface reveals in this one, High Tech, was low-key better than half of the ones that we get in the Scream movies. I'm just saying. I don't know. I think with it being multiple Ghostface reveals, I thought it was pretty funny, and half of them were like fucking OG characters. Like I said, Shaq in, was he Scary Movie 5, was it? Or 4? Then you had what's his name from 3, and he was in 3 and 4. I forgot his name, from Anthony something from Blackish. I can't remember his name, sorry. You had Ray and Shorty be a part of the Ghostface reveals, and then you also had the Sarah's love interest and the other best friend that was also the Ghostface reveal, which was the basic one because it was going off of Scream 5 obviously, so they was going off the love interest and one of the friends that turned out to be together, and they were going after, you know how Scream 5 goes. So I thought it was funny that we had so many characters, and then the confrontations and everything that was going on, I thought was pretty good. It was entertaining. Not all of it was funny, but it was entertaining. The John Wick scene where Cindy is cooking all the ghost faces, I thought was pretty well done. There's even a part where like she's going in on everybody, and then it switches to Cindy again, but she's eating popcorn. She's like, damn, my stunt double is killing this right now, as a fourth wall thing to being like, oh, that's not her actually fighting. Some stuff like that, that was entertaining. I didn't have any beef with that, so I thought that was pretty good. The girl that played Tuesday, I mean, the Tuesday character didn't really do much for me, but it made sense as to why she was here. And the actress did a good job, but I just didn't really care for Tuesday that much. The love interest, it's whatever. He was just there to be the Ghostface reveal, the basic Ghostface reveal. The guy from, well, Bobby was in here for like a half a second. It was not needed. I forgot the other guy's name from the first one, the one that had the baby penis, and there was a joke on that. They had him in here for like 5 seconds, so it just felt like some of the characters they brought back just to be like, hey, look at, do you remember them? But they had no part in the plot, so it was not necessary in my eyes. I mean, it was cool to see them, but it felt like it could have been taken out. They did basically nothing with strong hand, you know, the weird hand, but this is my strong hand. They did basically nothing. He was there for like one scene, and then an after credit scene, which was just, I believe, a deleted scene from the movie. So it was like you did basically nothing. It was a waste. I did like the cameo where they did the substance and the new version of the girl. If you watch the substance, when Demi Moore's character wanted to feel young, and then out came a younger version, a more beautiful version of a different persona of her. You know how it goes, whatever. And it turned out the reveal that it was one of the white chicks. I thought that was hilarious. To see that, I thought was funny. And then for Ghostface to kill him and be like, white chicks too, my ass, making fun of the fact that they're trying to do a second one, which, in my opinion, doesn't need to happen. I'm tired of all these studios trying to bring back classics for nostalgia purposes, and it's like, cause like you're running out of ideas kind of thing. But if they do it or not, I mean, it's fine, whatever. So yeah, once again, Anna Faris is killing it as usual. She hasn't missed a step. Brenda, funny as always. Ray, of course, the gay jokes of him. It's funny. It's a good time. I really enjoy that. I've always enjoyed Ray because it's always funny how he does a lot of gay stuff, but then pretends like he isn't. And it's like the gay banter, and then him being like, "No, I'm not. What are you talking about?" That whole thing was always funny to me. I really enjoyed that because it's funny the fact that we all know he is, but he just pretends like he isn't. But it's I don't know how to explain it, but it's funny. Shorty, as always, funny. I did like the fact that they made fun of streamers when he did a stream with Casanat, and he was like, "Oh, I'm here just to do whatever and just sit here and talk to you guys while you guys give me money," which is fair. That is basically how it is. You just sit, and I'm not saying streamers don't work hard, okay? They work hard, but I'm saying the base of it is, hey, you know, I'm talking to you, entertaining you by me just talking and doing random shit, and you're enjoying that, and you're paying me, and I'm getting paid. So it's like, I like the fact that they did that. Thought it was funny. Every version of Ghostface, while he had the mask on, was hilarious. When he played Dead by Daylight as himself with Shorty, when he was a part of the stream with Shorty, it's all a good time. I think it was fun. But like I said, some of the jokes didn't land for me. I really can't point out all of them, but the ones where I could tell they were trying to make a joke, but the joke just wasn't funny. And it wasn't that I found it offensive, because I didn't care about that. I just felt like it just wasn't funny. And they did cut out a couple of the clips that's from the trailer. Like, it's not in the movie. So I was confused on that. I'm like, maybe they just went past the runtime and just was like, fuck it, let's just get rid of that and then just move on. I have no idea. But or maybe they just did that to attract people and then be like, oh, we're gonna watch this. And the trailer gave away everything just for you to watch it and be like, oh, this wasn't in the trailer. This was in the trailer, but this is not in the movie. Maybe that's what we're doing. I have no idea. But anyways, it showed more spoofs of other movies, so that would have even made it even more ridiculous that they continuously added more to the spoofs of all the movies. Doofy, always fun to see. I thought the Michael Jackson trailer was pretty funny, but wasn't needed. It felt so random. But like I was saying, like I mean, the movie, it's fine. It's a good time for at least for me. You may not like it because of some of the stuff that's said, or it's just plain old boring to you. So I really can't sit here and be like I did with Obsession and like I did with Backrooms and Passenger, where I'm like, you gotta see this, or I'll tell you like, oh, this is not worth it. Just wait for this. I was like 3 for 3 on that. I don't know if I could go 4 for 4 because Scary Movie is a completely different thing. Because there's a lot of people that criticize this movie like it's supposed to be a cinematic masterpiece, which it's not. And then there's some people that just found it boring and just found it awful. And I don't want to be the one to be like, well, you said it was fantastic, so I'm gonna go see it, and then you just hate it. I'm gonna tell you, it's up to you. It was funny to me, but we don't have the same taste in comedy, so you may like it, you may not. But I do suggest you go see it just to see how you feel about it. It won't hurt. I definitely go on like a Tuesday where like the tickets are like $5 just so you could save a few bucks. And so that's how I would go about it. Or if you're an AMC A list, if you have that, you watch up to 4 movies. You can use that. Whatever the case may be, the amount that you can save, go ahead. But I do think you should go to the theater with some friends, or like I said, girlfriend, boyfriend, family. Doesn't matter. As long as you be with people, I think you have a better time watching it. But overall, Scary Movie, totally fine movie. I don't think it's awful as much as everybody else says it, but I can understand from their point of view why they think it's awful. It's fine, but don't go into this feeling like a negative towards it, because I feel like if you go in expecting it to be awful, then your mindset's gonna be like, yeah, this movie's gonna be awful, and you're watching him like, yeah, this is awful. If you go in with just a straight up like, I'm gonna watch this and I'm gonna see how I feel, you will feel fine. You'll form your own opinion, and you can come and tell me how you feel about it, because like I said, we all have different tastes. So I would love to hear what you guys think about Scary Movie. So that's it. That is my review for Scary Movie 6 or Scary Movie 2026, whatever you may want to call it. I think it's a solid movie, and you should definitely go check it out whenever you get the chance. And as always, it's always a pleasure to make new videos. I always enjoy doing this, and I'm glad I've been trying to continue to do this more often. So hopefully you'll get more videos from me. I might do a ranking of the scary movies. I don't know if it may be a full video or a YouTube short, depending on all the stuff that I have to go through. Then we'll see, but I'll definitely try to do that. There's some other stuff and other ideas I have of making videos, so stay tuned for that. And I just hope you keep riding with me, because I appreciate everybody that comes to watch these. So I hope you enjoyed this review. I'll see you in my next video. This has been the Slasher Bachelor. Love you guys.